Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Cupid, and today I thought we would do something different and something fun, right? So, we're going to be seeing what do your friends think of you, right? What do your friends think of you? How do they see you? Along those lines. I'm not quite sure how I want to actually word the video, but we're just going to see what your friends, like, how do they perceive you, okay? And I've never done this kind of reading before. I'm really, really excited. And yeah, nothing else really to report. Um, Before we get into the group selection, I just want to give the usual disclaimer, okay? All energy in these readings are fluid. So whenever you watch this reading, it can be relevant to you. Okay, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Some of these messages are for somebody else. These videos are for a wide or large or massive unseen collective. I do not know you. And I don't know, I feel compelled to say this. Like, you know you more than I do. When I do these readings, like, for me, sometimes they seem vague, but you will hear something that for you is really specific. And I think that is just the magic and the beauty of divination. I just use my intuition to determine what I need to say. And you are the only one that will know if what I'm saying resonates or not. So, like I said, whatever resonates, it's like a spark, it's like a firework, right? Just take it, and whatever doesn't resonate, just trust that it is for somebody else to hear, okay? So anyway, I'm ready to get into it. So go ahead and determine which group you're in. You're welcome to pause the video, and all timestamps for each reading will be in the description box below. So catch you at your reading. Group 1. This is a friend who you're not close to anymore. This could be a physical, literal distance. This could be more emotional, social distance. Either way, this is somebody who feels like their access to you has decreased, right? There's a sadness here. And so this could have been somebody that you are possibly fallen out with, but either you, them, or both of you still feel connected or still consider each other to be friends or something of that nature. Or this is somebody that you haven't fallen out with. You are still definitely friends, but either there has been a lot of time or distance between you, and you guys are just not as close to get to each other anymore, right? I almost said together. So maybe one of you has moved away and you're no longer in the same city or state. But yeah, this person, they kind of see you as a free spirit, okay? They see you as somebody who's kind of a wild card. And I say that because we have this wildness card from the Pear Tree Oracle. And in this image, there is like a beast or a monster or some type of like beast or whatever. And they're wearing this mask. And the mask is also kind of crying, and you also see the sun behind them. And so it's almost just, it's about being different, right? It's about standing out, and it's kind of also about being on your own, right? This wildness. On one hand, like I said, they feel like you're just very different, right? You are somebody who takes chances, right? You're out here in the wild, even if it hurts, right? Because this card is also about being yourself, despite isolation, being yourself, despite being the only one, right? If you guys, I'm a big Winnie the Pooh fan, and if you know anything about Winnie the Pooh, you know how Tigger, he says, the wonderful thing about Tigger's is that I'm the only one, right? He's special. And being one makes him even more special. Yes, it can be lonely because if you guys don't remember, they had the Tigger movie where he was like trying to find his family. But in the end, it's like even without this support or this community behind you, you still stand in your authenticity and you still stand in your specialness, okay? And I'm seeing this person kind of also like comparing themselves, right? I'm focusing on this mask, right? This person feeling like they themselves couldn't face their uniqueness, or there's something about a uniqueness that they could not face, they couldn't handle. They wouldn't be able to handle it. And the fact that you can handle this uniqueness, they see it as a gift, right? Because the card that because that card was at the bottom of the deck. The one that I actually got out of the pear tree is the gift. They see you as somebody like this ability to stand alone and be different and, kind of face the unknown, right? It's a gift that you have. And I'm also getting that for some of you, there's another literal gift. Like they see that you have this gift that it's the gift that you have that sets you apart, right? It's the gift that you have that makes you extremely different from others. And so in a lot of ways, you don't have a choice because you're just standing behind who you are. That's it, right? If you were to try and appease others, or if you were to try to, fit in the group, you would be abandoning yourself. You would be betraying yourself. And so for you, there is no other choice, and this person, they really feel, I get like, I don't know if it's necessarily that it intimidates them, but it's definitely something that they hold on to, this feeling like weaker, right? Like I said, this is a comparison. They're comparing how you are able to push forward, be different, stand out, be alone, and they can't, or there's something where they're afraid to, and they feel when they see you, it like emphasizes these feelings of inferiority, or there's something, it's just very comparative. They feel like you have a gift, and I feel like this is definitely just one person, okay? The next card we got here, we have the Knight of Cups. And so this is somebody, how your friend, did I say how they think of you, how they feel about you? I forgot the question, but they kind of want to initiate, or with this Knight of Cups, I'm seeing somebody like still open to connection, right? They still want to meet up. They still want to hang out. And it's not yet clear like what this distance is, right? It could be that it could be simply the differences between you. But I do see with the Knight of Cups, they still want to be your friend, and they are still interested in this friendship, basically. But I also feel like with the Knight of Cups, like, it's definitely them, the knight, right? And this knight is a messenger. So it's like they still feel this friend still feels like there's something that they need to be doing, right? I'm getting an energy where they are reflecting a lot on what they need to do. So maybe if you guys did have a falling out, maybe they were the one in the wrong, or if you didn't have a falling out, maybe this person, they're just focusing on what they can do first. They don't necessarily they're not looking at it like you necessarily to do anything, or I don't know. I'm just definitely getting like they're focused on their side. On their side, what can their actions be with this Knight of Cups to bring you together, right? Do they need to send you an apology? Do they need to send an invite or ask you how you're doing, right? Really opening this door for emotional connection. They know a part of them, like, they feel like they should do that. And then at the bottom of the deck here, we have the Eight of Wands. So this is definitely them, like, wanting an opportunity to do this, wanting an excuse to do this, right? Or a reason, right? Like, they feel, this friend feels like, and to me, this suggests that there has been a lot of distance and a lot of time. So they feel like they can't just hit you up like they used to anymore. They feel like they have to have an excuse or a reason to invite you to something. They can't just say, hey, you want to go to the movies? They have to be like, hey, it's such and such's birthday. Would you, like, I don't know. It's like they have to have like some legitimate reason. Yeah, they feel like they have to have like some legitimate reason or some occasion to instigate, reunion, or, like I said, just general connection if you're still friends. And I think that's interesting. I think that's interesting here. We also have this Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. And this is where I think we start to get into the meat of this, right? Because this person, they feel left out of your life. Okay. So how they think of you, they see you as somebody just like so far away. The Six of Wands was the card that was pulled, and so they see you celebrating, right? These are balloons. They see you enjoying your life. They see you parading. I heard parading. So maybe they feel like you're showing something, right? You're showing off something, or you're just showing something, and they're noticing that there's something here for you to show. This is a parade, right? You're not just celebrating in your room, you're posting about it online. So they see you posting about the things that you're doing, and they kind of feel left out, right? With the Ace of Swords, oh, there's something here about a cycle. This person, there's something that was said. I don't know, with the swords here, it's this card. Let me tell you about this card. And then right underneath that, we have the Six of Pentacles. Okay. This person is thinking about give and take, right? They're thinking about consequence and collaboration. I say that because the Six of Pentacles often to me is kind of about either charity or exchange, commerce, right? Sometimes even deals, right? But definitely give and take, input, output, right? And there was a time where this person, they feel like they didn't give enough, right? They didn't give enough for it to be worth it to you. And that's why you're like finding success elsewhere. This person, I heard investment. They feel like you are investing elsewhere, and it's really paying off for you. Now, the reason this Ace of Swords is standing out to me so much is because this is one of my Hello Kitty 50th anniversary cards. And whenever it says 50th anniversary, I think of cycles, right? I think of cycles, I think of endings, and I think of beginnings, right? I also think of repetition, seasonal. What's interesting here is that the card also says bicycle on it, and I was focused on the bicycle. And so there's something here about either a tradition or something that happens all the time, or something, I'm even hearing something to look forward to. But the fact that this is on the Ace of Swords, I feel like there was a conversation that was had either during this traditional, seasonal, celebrational type of something, or whatever was spoken was about that, right? Or affected it. And I'm seeing this person kind of like not valuing some of these things, like, right? If it's a holiday, right? If it's spending a holiday together, if it's doing certain holiday traditions together, or if it's, you know, it's almost like this person feels like they didn't uphold their end of the bargain, or you're not going to uphold your end of the bargain. Basically, with this Eight of Swords, I'm seeing like there was a conversation that took place that put an end to these anniversaries, right? Decades, right? I'm hearing the word decade. So there's an ending to this repetition. You know, there's an ending to these cycles, right? Things I'm heard looking forward to. So they could have, this is something that maybe they looked forward to, or were looking forward to. And now there's an end to that here. Um, mm. And they see you moving forward, just like doing better things. Here we have the Four of Pentacles, and so you're keeping to yourself now, right? So before, you guys had a Six of Pentacles situation where y'all were either giving and taking equally, or attempting to, right? Both of you were investing or participating. Now you're holding back with this Four of Pentacles. Maybe before you weren't getting anything back from them, right? That confirms their own feelings, like they felt like they weren't giving enough, or they felt like they didn't really value what you were giving. Now they're seeing that you're not giving them anything, right? What's yours is yours. What's theirs is theirs. You don't need to, and I'm getting with information, right? I heard information. You're not telling them anything, right? You're not investing your time and energy in this connection anymore. And I do feel like something happened between you. I can't see what it is, but we have the Three of Swords that was at the bottom of the deck, and then the Ten of Wands. Ooh, right underneath that. I mean, work. Work. Something about work. With the Three of Swords, this person sees you as somebody who is hurt by them, right? Or how do they see you, or how do they feel about you? They feel hurt. I feel like this is a situation where, yes, you guys may have, if you didn't have a full on like official fallout, like we are no longer friends, you guys had an argument. You guys had a conversation or a discussion that changed everything. It changed how you saw each other, and it made this connection heavy, right? With the work, I mean, with the Ten of Wands, I'm thinking about, I'm seeing somebody carrying something on their back, right? I'm thinking about, like a planet, right? There's so much weight, right? This is heavy. This is no longer, fun. This is no longer enjoyable. I no longer feel loved, right? Somebody's heart was broken. With the Three of Swords here, there was definitely feelings of pain between you, and regarding whatever happened. I mean, in this Wildness card, like I said, like it looks like the Mask is crying, right? This person mourning either a decision they made or a way they acted when it came to you, or they're mourning something that happened between you, something they said, right? The conversation you had, because it put all this distance between you guys. And like I said, they're still open to like still meeting up, hanging out, repairing this, and staying friends. But at the same time, I feel like they're not willing to do the work. I feel like there's something here where I heard they're not really willing to do the work, right? They kind of just want to be included in what you're doing. It's almost like they want this automatically. They want this kind of easily. And maybe that is what what hurt you with this Three of Swords, right? That for them, you weren't worth the work. And I think so. I think it's odd. I think it's kind of funny. Maybe not odd is the. It's just kind of weird how they don't want to do this work. They don't want to, you know, but they still see you as a friend, right? They don't want to. In my opinion, I don't know what this is, what type of work, right? I don't know. Let me see if I can pick out, maybe even, keeping their word, upholding their end of the bargain. Maybe they didn't uphold this tradition between you, right? There's some type of cowardly behavior here. I don't know. Something about being weak and cowardly, and also something about maybe not upholding their end of the bargain or upholding something. It's like they still see you as a friend, but they just want the perks of the friendship, because even under this Eight of Wands, there's a Six of Wands, right? They see you having the Six of Wands, and they want a reason to participate. They want an opportunity to participate. So they're waiting on some type of opportunity to come in that will allow them to participate in something, connect with you in some way. And so, for example, if they're watching you post, if they're seeing you like celebrate online or parade online, they're kind of waiting for the right occasion or the right thing for you to do and post about, to give a comment, right? To maybe say something and make you feel, hopefully make you feel close to them again. They're looking for ways to kind of like get back into your circle, right? That like those feelings of closeness, like you really have to nurture them, and when you let them disappear or die, it can be hard to rebuild, okay? Unfortunately here, I feel like this person, they're in a bit of conflict, because here we have take out the trash, but then let me tell you, this deck threw this at me. It says fortune favors the bold. And so remember when I said that they saw you as somebody unique, who can stand on their own, who takes chances, right? They see you in a lot of ways as a risk taker more than they are. And with fortune favors the bold here, I feel like this person, it's almost like they're constant, like when I tell you that difference between you is what they are always thinking about. And so this person, they kind of like are trying to channel this energy of fortune favors the bold, to build up this courage to maybe comment on something or like something, or because they really do still want this friendship. But at the same time, with take out the trash, this person feels like they were trash. They feel like they were trash. They feel like the way they treated you, whatever happened, they feel like they were in the wrong, and they feel like, I think that's what it is. Like they feel like they were really in the wrong. They were truly, truly in the wrong, and it's not really whatever happened. It wasn't a negotiable situation. It wasn't, interpretive. It was pretty subjective or objective. What happened between you. And then here at the bottom of the deck, we have a clock is a tower. So this person kind of ran out of time, or their timer ran out, right? However you want to phrase that. Like, this is like they did the trash behavior, and then the trash man came and collected, basically. And so, it's almost like they feel like they kind of just messed up with you in a sense, right? Like they see you as somebody who just has kind of, like, they see you as basically being done with them, right? Like you've had them taken care of. You took care of it. And that's why, and I think that's also why they feel so bad about it, right? Because like you took care of it. Whatever happened, whatever they said, it was all you needed. It was all you needed to just be like, okay, And maybe they didn't expect that, or they didn't realize that you would. I don't know. But to me, a clock is a tower. Their time ran out and they had a oh shit moment. Like, oh, yeah, like, and they know that they deserved what they got. The last cards we have here, we have shapeshift. And so this friend feels like you've changed. You shapeshift on their ass. Like, 1 second you were one way, they looked up and you were different. And at the bottom here we have personal. So this is what you switched up on them with. You stopped letting them in your life. They no longer get personal information. They no longer get text messages. They no longer get updates. They no longer get anything about you, right? You keep your personal information to yourself now, right? Like I said, that Four of Pentacles, information. You keep it to yourself now because of what they said, right? What they said hurt you. So you're not going to keep act like, and I don't know why they thought you would act the same, right? I don't know why they thought you would act the same way after this conversation, but either way, they see that, oh, you're not the same friend anymore. You're a different person, and y'all have a different relationship. So, yeah, that's what your friend thinks of you, Group 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please sure to give this video a like. If it resonated, you can leave a comment, all of that, okay? And if you would like to be notified whenever I post new videos, then make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Bye, Group 1. All right, Group 2. Your friends see you as they see you at the center of their friend group, okay? They see you as the main focus. You have the spotlight, all right? But I'm going to get into that a little bit later. First, let's talk about the Pear Tree Oracle here. The first card out was indecisive. So your friends, this could be one friend or multiple friends, but they see you as somebody who has a hard time choosing between things, right? So you could be somebody who either takes a long time to make a decision, right? You could procrastinate, or you are the type to attempt to do a lot of different things, right? You're sometimes overcommitted or double booked, or you have to cancel things last minute because you overcommitted yourself. Last minute came out as well because we have midnight at the bottom of the deck. And then this image, like this girl is like fleeing. It looks like she's fleeing down the street with her dog. And so it's almost like you choosing to do things at the last minute or choosing to not do things at the last minute. At the last minute, taking things on, right? You could have ADHD. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm getting a kind of scattered idea of a person, and it's not like I'm not getting somebody who is, selfish necessarily, but I'm definitely seeing you as being somebody who, or and it's not even that like, oh, you don't want to do these things. It's more like sometimes you really do, right? In the indecisive card, you have this person with this head that looks like it's a headpiece that is so heavy, but it almost looks like a cityscape, forest, like it's a huge mask. And I feel like this person, you're somebody who, like, you just enjoy a lot of things, right? You like to take a lot of opportunities, but you also just it's almost like you just don't have necessarily the urgency or the discipline, I'm not gonna lie, that's coming through to really commit too much. So sometimes you do overbook because at the time you thought you would be able to do it, but then the day of comes and you're like, shit, I forgot I had to do this, and this don't even make any sense, maybe, right? This is you. But yeah, you're coming off as like good vibes though, because we have the sun here. And so you come off as somebody optimistic. You come off as somebody who is enjoying life the best they can. But definitely there's a sense of immaturity. There's a sense of, yeah, they don't really. It's almost like your friends, you seem like you kind of have something easy. Something came easy for you. At the bottom of the deck here, there's the Eight of Pentacles. And so you have a decent job, or your stability is pretty okay. There's something here about income, right? I'm hearing income with the Eight of Pentacles. So your friends feel like you have a pretty decent income, or your quality of life is pretty good compared to theirs, right? Because this is comparative energy. Even in the image of Eight of Pentacles, you have the skeleton and he's holding up both hands, and on both hands it's like two fingers, and it's almost like he's comparing both, like one or the other. Like, you know, you ever do that motion, like one hand represents one and the other hand represents the other. It's like he's comparing. And so this person is like measuring up or sizing up, right? Your friends, they really size themselves up to you, and they see you as somebody who has more than them or has a better situation than them, okay? Definitely comparative. And so there's this image of you with the sun, that you just got it easy. Like, wow, shit just works out for them, right? Like, it's like they see you and they feel like you're, wow, they got it, they good, like they Gucci, like, you know. And they don't hate you for it, but they feel like it definitely, it stands out amongst them, right? It stands out amongst them, and it reflects back at them, right? Now you're a mirror, right? Even if you're not doing anything, when they see you, they think about what they have or don't have, okay? But I feel like I said, you're good vibes, because even here we have the Six of Pentacles and then the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck, right? With this King of Cups and the Six of Pentacles, I heard generous, right? Your friends think you're generous. They feel like you have no problem sharing, right? So this is almost certainly how they know or have an idea of what you may have, because you share, right? So maybe you're the friend that might pick up the tab, right? Or you might you give nice gifts, or you know, you give people rides, or maybe you're the friend with the car, right? There's something here about you being willing to share what you have because you care, right? It ain't no thing for you, right? As the King of Cups, because the King of Cups is chill. It's no thing for you, right? Like, you are happy to share. You're not stingy. Like, you feel like, you know, you feel like you'll get more. You have an abundance mindset, and you enjoy these people, right? When you are having a good time and enjoying these people, like, you don't have a problem sharing, okay? But maybe some of them feel, with this Six of Pentacles, I'm not gonna lie, because the thing about the King of Cups is that even though he's not always like having bad intentions, he can still be inconsiderate, right? The King of Cups can be inconsiderate because he's going to prioritize his feelings, right? And if you feel like sharing and paying for whatever, you know, to you it ain't no thing, but to somebody else it might make them feel some type of way. And so there's this energy around you as the King of Cups as being self-centered or self-absorbed, or somebody in your friend group feels like you're showing off, or you know, some of them may even go so far as saying that you're like bragging or boasting, right? There's something here where somebody, when you do these generous things that you consider to just be friendly, there may be one or multiple people who feel like you're flexing. You know what I mean? And it's coming through. Like, I just feel like I feel like, because it's, to me, this is not like super, super bad, but there's a sense of inconsideration, right? I keep hearing it ain't no thing, right? To you, some of your friends feel like you don't take things too seriously because for you things are easier, right? Or yeah, like they feel like because your life is a certain way compared to theirs, they're projecting you just being, willing to be a friend as you like not really considering how they feel, right? You not really like, I don't know. But here we have 5 of Cups. So this is literally a situation where something is knocked over, right? There's a disappointment. But then with the 7 of Cups at the bottom of the deck, somebody sees you, one of your friends, like they see you as somebody who like has a solution, right? Or it's not that bad. I'm hearing it's not that bad, right? Somebody's crying over their 3 cups that got spilled, and then you say, no, look at all these options. Or you're like, oh, don't worry about that, we can get more, right? Like, and you just point to all these other cups. You're like, we can just get more. Like, and they're like, and it's almost like they're upset that you weren't upset with them, or they're upset that you just came up. It's almost like maybe they feel like you dismiss their concerns, or you dismiss their anxieties or something, right? And this has to do with mentality, right? This has to do with mentality. I almost said it has to do with money because, I definitely think because of the 8 of Pentacles, and I definitely think whoever this friend or friends are, they definitely consider your financial situation, right? They definitely are kind of pocket watching. But with this 5 of Cups, 7 of Cups, these are cups. So it's not really about your finances. This is about mentality. These are friends who have lack mentality, right? It's always I can't, or it won't, right? It's always more important for them to feel sorry for themselves instead of looking on the bright side. And I think you being represented here as the sun, you look on the bright side. And you're not a perfect person. I think they have every right to, critique you as far as like maybe you show up late, or you cancel last minute, or they can critique you for being a bit of a scatterbrain and not being the best with time management. I don't see them hating you for it, but they see you that way. But I do think it's concerning, this pocket watching energy that's coming through, and like kind of expecting you to wallow. I always think it's so concerning when friends would rather you wallow. And it's not even about not comforting them. It's like more so they don't want to hear solutions. They don't want to get to the solution part. They just want to wallow forever. But I digress. But this 5 of Cups, it's like I just wanted you to feel bad for me, right? These are friends that like may want you to feel bad for them, but you don't really feel that. And maybe it's because you don't see their they feel like you don't see their situation for what it is. You don't really feel bad for them enough, right? They feel like you don't feel bad for them enough. You keep, every time they bring up, like, you'll be like, oh, well, guess, and you try and help them, right? With the 7 of Cups, I see you offering some of yours, right? Because you're generous, right? You will offer some of yours when their shit gets knocked over and broke down. But that pisses them off because all it does is remind them that you have more, right? They lose 3. You say you said, here are mine. Pick out 3 that you want, right? And they're like, damn, they got 7. Like, and the thing about it is they just had 5. And you're not even, 7 is just only a little bit more than 5. And so I feel like for some of you, it's not even that you have that much more than them. It really is just a comparative energy that somebody that you hang around with has. And to me, this is like, they think about this all the time, multiple times, whenever they see you. These are consistent feelings. And I feel like at some point, if it hasn't already came up, it's going to come up, the way they kind of compare themselves to you, right? It's low key like being very jealous of you. I would be mindful of that, right? Just keeping it real. Because a friend that's projecting a lot onto you is, I mean, it's a recipe for a disaster, especially if they're projecting that you're better than them. When you've never said that, you've never done that, that's just all them. And guess what? Underneath the 7 of Cups that you offered is a 5 of Pentacles. They hate that you offered it, like I said, because they don't have it. It reminds them of what they don't have, right? And it triggers their feelings of not having anything, not having enough, or not being good enough. Or I feel like this is, I don't know. They're definitely comparing your material lives, but it's a lot that they're comparing, right? It's details, right? And that's what's crazy about it. Whoever this friend is, they're comparing details. The types of cars you drive, the types of shoes you wear, the type of food you eat, the type of people you date, how your relationships go, how their relationships go, right? Your job, you just got promoted, they just got fired. And the thing is, like, it's totally valid for them to feel hurt or have those reminders, but you have to check it. You have to check it. If you value yourself and your friendship, you will check it, because nobody want to be Delulu, right? Like, we all get insecure. But if you let it get out, if you allow yourself to start projecting onto a friend and treating them certain ways, and or looking at them, like, that can get out of, that is not healthy. Check that, okay? But anyway, I digress. So the next card here, we have everything casts a shadow. Oh my God. And then at the bottom of the deck, it's your show. So how does your friend or friends view you? They feel like you take up too much space, right? With everything cast a shadow, they feel like whenever you're around, they don't get to eat. Okay? And for whatever reason. And this, like I said, just to remind y'all, it could just be one person. It doesn't have to be your whole friend group. But this person, like, they feel like when you enter the room, they get cast in darkness. Nobody sees them. Nobody hears them, right? Maybe at one point they got a lot of attention, or maybe this is somebody where in certain spaces they get a lot of attention, but and because of that, like, this is somebody who puts a lot of value in validation, right? And yeah, I definitely want to stand on that. This is somebody who puts a lot of value in being validated, and any reminder of their lack is a trigger. Okay? And in your case, this is because you stand out comparatively better than them, right? Maybe this friend prefers other friends that are in similar situations, right? Because it doesn't make them think about where they are, right? This is the type of person that really can't be friends with somebody who's doing better than them, because they start feeling some type of way. Okay? This is crazy. I feel like this person kind of took over the reading. This person took over the reading. I feel like I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to finish the rest of these cards, and then I'm going to come back to these oracle cards because there's something I want to say here. Okay? But yeah, and with the It's Your Show, they just feel like you're the star, right? Remember I was saying in the beginning, like, your friends see you as, like, the star of the group, the leader of the group, the center of the group. Um, you know, I feel like when you're an adult, your friendships don't really have leaders, or they shouldn't. I think that's, like, totally for children. But, you know, if you're an adult, maybe it's more so that they feel like you're at the center, right? So you're the one who everybody is mutuals with or knows each other through, or you're the person that gets everybody into all the different events and da 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 da, or you're the person that's the most popular. There's something here where you're kind of the center, and they feel like everything moves around you, and they really don't like it, you know, if they're being honest, okay? Because that's what's coming through. Like I said, they feel like this is somebody trying to frame you as being inconsiderate. Okay? And I'm going to come, like I said, I'm going to come back to these oracle cards, but let's hold that. Let's just hold it, okay? These last cards here, we have cry and we have spilled milk. So somebody cried to you, literally, or somebody's crying about you, right? Whining, crying, complaining. Or this is just about them being upset about something, and they feel like you did not take it seriously. With spilled milk here, they feel like you brushed it off, right? With like I said, with that 5 of Cups, they feel like you were kind of like, oh, it's no big deal. It ain't no thing, and don't worry about it. Oh, we can just do this, or we can just do that. And they feel like it was you dismissing something that they were crying about or hurt about or something. And they, like I said, they feel like you are self-absorbed because you don't have the same type of hardships as them, or because your life is easier than them in some way. And like I said, I feel like this person definitely took over this reading, because I definitely feel like this began with a group thought. I feel like you have multiple friends here who this is interesting. You have multiple friends in this particular reading who feel like you are doing a lot. You do a lot of things and you make a lot of last minute decisions. Okay? And I feel like there may be a misunderstanding. There might not, but there may be a misunderstanding about you here. Okay? Somebody wants to paint you as being indecisive and not really being considerate and not really thinking about, but I almost feel like that's them. I don't know. I feel like this is not you, this is them, but they want it to be you. They're trying to paint it like you couldn't do something or you weren't doing something. I don't know. But I feel like this is somebody, like, I feel like they talk to another person and they both feel like, oh yeah, this person is late, or this person is, this person goes back on what they said they were going to do, trying to paint you as unreliable. But it's almost like they use that as a vehicle to call you inconsiderate, because I feel like for some of them, they can't outright say that you're inconsiderate, because when you wanted to help them with their problem, they didn't really want that. They wanted you to sit there and cry with them. They can't say that. So instead, the couple times you showed up late, or the few times, you know, you got double booked or had to cancel a plan, they want to use that to be like, oh yeah, I feel like she is inconsiderate. She don't really think about how others feel and da 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 da. But I feel like this is probably them. I feel like whether it's the being late part or being inconsiderate or being indecisive, I feel like this is really them. One of these traits, or all of them, is really them, but they are projecting it onto you because they're upset that you're not available all the time. I think that's, you're not available all the time, and you're not a sad sack. I don't want to say it's not about being available all the time. It's more like being available for sadness, right? Misery loves company type energy, right? This is somebody who wants a friend that will, I don't want to say baby them, but they kind of want a friend that is going to really like nurture them emotionally. I don't know, and not to say that you won't, but it's almost like, I don't know. There's too much going on here. I'm not gonna lie. It's like they want you to make them feel better. They want you to be the type of friend that works to make them feel better, but not by doing anything that will remind them of where they are compared to you. And I think that's the biggest conflict, because what you can provide and what you can help is almost like above what they can provide or help if you were to need them. And so it will always be triggering. What they want from you as a friend, it's conflicting, because it's conflicting with their perception of you, because their perception of you is that you're better than them. Even if you don't say that, even if you don't think that, that's what's coming through. They feel like you think you're better than them, even though you may have never said it, but that's really just because they think you're better than them. It's like they think you're better than them, and so they like interpret in their mind that you must be doing this and that and the third because you think that you're better. But it's like you're not. You just do these things because you like them and you're trying to be a good friend to them. But they can't handle it. They can't handle it. Anyway, that's all I have for you today, group 2. If you enjoyed this reading, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment. And if you would like to be notified whenever I post new videos, then subscribe and ring that notification bell. Bye. All right, group 3. I'm seeing that your friends see you as out of commission, okay? They see you as somebody who is out of commission. You're not on the scene. You're missing in action. And they're looking for you, right? Here with transmutation, they feel like you've gone through some type of metamorphosis. Something has altered you. Some type of experience you've gone through has altered you in a way, and you have had to, they see you as someone who has had to do the work to kind of transform with what was going on with you, right? And this light, right, there's this lighthouse shining, and then in the image of the transmutation, there's this girl with this light coming from behind her. And so I feel like they're like looking for you during your transforming or after, right? They're seeking you out, right? They could also maybe have gone out at night. So maybe your friends went out together and you didn't, right? You didn't go out with them. But I'm saying it's because you've had to recover, because we also have the 4 of Swords here. And so with recovery, you needed to take time out, right? You needed your rest. You needed to stay in. At the bottom of the deck here, we have the 9 of Pentacles. And so you kind of had to keep resources to yourself, or keep yourself away from the rest of your friends because of this, whatever you were going through. You needed these resources, right? You needed, I've heard reserve, right? You needed to reserve these resources for this transformation. Um, I feel like for some of you, you could have gotten pregnant and had a baby, right? You could have became a mother. And I say that because we have this 11 card. And what's interesting about this card is that it's an 11 over 1, right? And it says happy birthday. It's a part of it's a part of the Hello Kitty 50th anniversary cards that I have. And so it says happy birthday. So already with this 111, I think of the Empress, right? This is my Empress card in this deck. And it's just a deck of regular playing cards, but it has this card, okay? So to me, this is like my Empress card. You have become a mom. I feel like for some of you, yes. For others of you, there is some equivalent experience where you've gone through this transformation. You've needed time to recover and change. And when you come out of it, you're like this brand new person, this evolved person. But you're also a person that has more responsibility, right? You're also a person that's taking on more nurturing and abundance, right? Yeah, it's like you take on so much more abundant energy, that you need to nurture it, I feel like. But at the bottom of the deck here, we have this 8 of Wands, and so these friends are looking for an opportunity not just to see you again, but to celebrate you, right? So maybe you haven't had a baby shower yet, or maybe they're waiting until the baby's born to invite you out. There's something here where they're kind of waiting, and maybe you could have just been sick, right? Maybe some of you could just got sick and had to be hospitalized. I don't know, but you could have just been out of commission, and they're waiting for you to come out, so they can, kind of celebrate you being back into the world, right? With the 8 of Wands, I see them like even throwing flowers or handing you flowers, maybe partying, dancing. I'm seeing like lots of musical notes around you. They want to turn out, I feel like, with you. So maybe your friends just really miss going out with you. Maybe you had a friend group that loved going out, and it's kind of not the same without you. I feel like you could be married. I don't know. There's something here about this King of Swords, right? There's a King of Swords, and at the bottom of the deck we have a 4 of Wands. And so I feel like this is your happy home. This is your relationship, right? This is your happy marriage, right? That's what I'm getting, right? I get that there's this commitment that you're in, that with the 4 of Wands, like, I don't know, this could be like a soulmate kind of vibe. Like, I'm not talking about like soulmates and twin flames. I just mean like maybe you feel like you and this person are really like compatible, and this is just, your boo. Like, this is your soulmate, and your friends, like, they respect that. That's what I'm getting with the King of Swords, is like they respect that. They get it. They respect it. But maybe they feel like they got you in the house too much, or they got you, you're not doing the things you used to do, right? Like, there's this energy here of wanting to respect your peace and respect your home and respect what it is that you want to do, right? There are these boundaries here, but still like wishing, because still wishing they could see you more, okay? Here we have not what you think, and so maybe your friends think something's going on in your relationship that it's not, right? Maybe your friends, or maybe there's some type of misunderstanding, right, between you. I don't know. There's some type of misunderstanding between you and your friends here about what's going on with you behind the scenes. And maybe it's more so pointing out that they don't know. Maybe you haven't really told them anything, right? Because like I said, with this transmutation card, they're shining this light looking for you, and your back is to them. And so these could be things that you're not really sharing, and they're basically just saying, and it's basically just like, whatever you think you know, you don't really know, because I haven't revealed anything. And they feel left out, right? Like, they just kind of feel left out. At the bottom of the deck, it says, you cannot build muscle if you do not use them. And so, I don't know. I feel like this is about criticism, right? You cannot build muscle if you do not use them. And so I feel like here everybody thinks they know what the right thing to do is. But I feel like at the end of the day, you're not really going to... I feel like you're not really going to get the outcome you want if you try to force anything on anybody. You know, maybe this is like them wanting to give you gentle reminders. Maybe you have some friends saying, hey, you can come out at least once, and at least you can just do this. But at the same time, they're not really seeing that there's something that you're trying to build behind the scenes, right? It's just because you're not going out anymore doesn't mean that you're not, you know, building your friendship or being strong in your friendship. It doesn't necessarily mean you're abandoning your friendship. They don't understand that you're trying to build something at home, right? At the bottom of the... Well, no, this isn't the bottom. But the next card here, we have scheme, right? And I think this is so interesting because I'm definitely getting it in a... I'm definitely getting this in not a bad way. It's coming off like I don't know the right word, maybe wholesome. Your friends, they want to see you. Okay? I feel like there is some planning. There is some planning behind your back, right? And I'm not sure exactly what. It doesn't look bad, but I feel like they're planning something behind your back in anticipation for your return, right? They really want to celebrate you. I think that's like probably the main thing here is that your friends view you right now, how they see you is somebody who's been out of commission way too long. They miss you. They want you to just come out and see them and hang out, and they know you got a lot going on behind the scenes that you haven't told them, but they just want to be a part of your life, right? I'm also getting gifts. Like, they want to bring you gifts. So maybe you haven't had a baby shower yet, or maybe you just got married. So maybe it's not necessarily that you had a baby, but maybe you just got married and you went on a honeymoon and you're set, you know, you're trying to get everything going in your home, right? Trying to figure, like, and it can be a transition for them because you're just not available as much as you were, because you're basically trying to establish a life with this person. And the more you get into a routine, the more you'll be able to incorporate more like social life stuff. But they just got to give you some space. They just got to give you some time, you know? But yeah, like, they really, I feel like your friends are just waiting for you and wanting you to return back to the wild, okay? But anyway, I think really that's all I have for you today, Group 3. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment, and if you would like to be notified whenever I post new videos, then make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Bye!